Hey guys, it's Major Fall here. I am sorry for the delay of this part and me just disappearing after uploading the previous part. Combination of real life and some other stuff got in the way. Like I've always mentioned, I'm active on Twitch. If you like my content or if you just want to ask me something, come join me on Twitch. Give me a follow. Also, there's my Discord, which lets you know when I go live, etc, etc, etc. You can ask me questions there. But we all know you're here for Age of Empires 4, so let's get started. We are up to the Siege of Dover. Now, this level can actually be beaten quicker than just defeating the 4 French attacks that you have to deal with, or 5, technically. So, I'll explain more as we get into the mission, but essentially, King John's poor stewardship of England had sparked an invasion to overthrow his fragile rule. Essentially, his barons rebelled. Let's get started. At 1216.
At Wallingford, in the shadow of the castle, Matilda's faction, commanded by her son Henry, proved it was still willing to fight King Stephen for the crown. But after 15 years of conflict, both sides had had enough. So, they made a deal. Matilda would surrender her claim to the throne on condition that when Stephen died, her eldest living son Henry would succeed him. A year later, he was crowned King Henry II, and proceeded to grow the kingdom into the mighty Angevin Empire. But, once again, what the king had spent his life building, his own children were destined to destroy. King Henry II had 4 surviving legitimate sons, and he planned to divide up his kingdom between them. But they fought bitterly for dominance. Against the odds, Henry's youngest son, John, became king. But King John was deeply unpopular. He lost huge swathes of the Angevin Empire gained by his father, then failed to reclaim them in expensive battles. Paid for by taxing his subjects. Eventually, England's barons could take it no more. They forced John to agree to a charter that restricted his power. The Magna Carta. But he went against his word. Furious, they rebelled, inviting Prince Louis of France to invade England. In 1216, Louis sailed to Dover and set his sights on taking this: Dover Castle. Held by forces loyal to King John, it was commanded by Hubert de Burgh. He described the castle as the key to England. He was right. If it fell to the French, so would the kingdom.
Siege of Dover, 1216. Of course, you get this nice little bug here. That's supposed to be like 1216, guys. Ignore it. King John had angered the English barons. In full revolt, they invited the French to invade and take advantage of his weakness. One key fortification stood in their way: Castle at Dover. Right, so this level actually isn't too terribly difficult, especially when you know what you're doing. I'll explain more as we get into the level. It's better to explain it as we play, because some people will just skip into the gameplay section, so it's just better to explain there.
Asked to invade by the rebel barons, Prince Louis's French army launched an assault on the castle at Dover. Opening a crack in the outer defenses, the invading forces charged the castle walls.
So the first thing you kind of want to do
at Dover would meet the French
is have more archers on the
clenched
wall.
Fists and an iron will. Dover could not fall.
So select your archers and activate the arrow volley, because they'll start with it, and also upgrade to the network of Citadel's power. Move your cavalry down here and have your infantry move up there. Move your archers close to the getter, because we're going to use the campfire, so they'll heal as they deal with the attacks. Same with down here, do the same. Get 3 villages from your town center, but no more than that, because we'll be building them somewhere else. And deal with the attacks that are on their way. So just finish these attacks up. Again, cast arrow volley. Don't worry if these stone wall towers go down, guys. They are not important. As you can see, we've got a bit of stone and a few farmers. Yeah, just take these guys out. And if you see any siege, take them out. You'll start with fire arrows, so your guys will be fine. Once these attacks get a little closer, and there's a few soldiers left, we're going to send our cavalry down to this yellow base over here. So we're going to send them down there now. Gonna activate arrow volley over here. And these guys can just skip past most of the enemies. And train a few more archers to go up here. I'm going to use the council hall to train a few more to go up here. Just keep casting arrow volley as they start, as soon as it's available. And attack the battering rams as you see them. Don't let them break the main wall. Don't bother getting any of the spring golden placement upgrades. They are not necessary. Now, once this tree is done, we're going to send these guys to go mine the stone. Alright, and now we'll have extra reinforcements here. Thanks to these cavalry making it down here.
While the castle's garrison thwarted the first French attack and prepared for a second, a new resistance force was building in the English countryside.
So here's Willikin and our main hero for this level. Now we're going to build this town tower immediately, have 500 wood and 400 stone, and build the town center here.
Began to muster a resistance to the French invasion.
Start building it.
To keep the crown in King John's hands, Willikin would rally every available archer to the cause.
And the first thing we need to do is get Willikin to here, so we can recruit these archers. Then we're going to recruit these archers, and then we're going to recruit these archers. We want to get a town center here, because this is where our economy is going to be focused. Now, all our upgrades are going to most likely come from here, because these buildings will no longer be in use, except very sporadically. And the reason we're keeping our infantry here is to stop a siege tower that eventually will happen. Now, something to keep in mind is that sometimes the attacks will happen after their section, and it won't end. That's because some units will get stuck here trying to build a unit, or they'll just get stuck. You can take advantage of that if you want. No, there's no shame in doing so. But we're not going to worry about... That's how you normally win. You have to defeat every attack. If you choose not to do that way, like I'm going to, it doesn't matter. But if you want to do it the normal way, you have to make sure they're all dead. Now, gather the longbowmen and your cavalry, and you're going to bring them up here. The reinforcements that the French will send to your siege Dover, they happen differently every time you play. I've noticed it's random. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes they'll come mostly from here, sometimes they'll mostly come from here. So you're going to have to split your forces no matter what you do. Try to have at least one trader caravan training each for as long as you can, because that's the only way you're going to get gold. And they take 50 seconds to train each one, so please be aware of that, guys. We're going to be building a second market when we can, but it's not important right now. What's important is getting an archery range close by and getting some watchtowers for the bonus that we're going to want.
With his bowmen assembled,
Now, Willikin has every archer upgrade, including movement, so that's the unique thing for him. So he can have your units move faster for 15 seconds, and then the rest, like I said, it's just archer stuff. Send Willikin up here to go help a small patrol, which will let you get some reinforcements. We want to send a second
a group of
archer.
English fighters engaged in battle with the enemy and rushed to their aid.
We ran into some pikes there, but that's distracted them long enough. Now, the reason we want to send Willikin there is that's how we get access to units. because they're waiting for Willikin to arrive. That's how you recruit. Just send them up there, and you'll get those units. You're going to send those units up here, and these units that you just rescued down here. Willikin has another camp he can recruit from over here, so we're going to go recruit them now. Because as you can see, we're dealing with a split.
Willikin's resistance
Train some units here and get veteran archers from over here.
adding more skilled men to its ranks.
Keep training villages as much as you can. And don't be shy to sell resources to train what you need, guys. You're going to have lots of food in this one. Try to have your archers always have a camp to heal themselves. I'll send these guys up here. I'm going to try to have them up this path here, just so they're fine. I'm going to train a few more archers for this area for defense. Eventually your cavalry are going to fall, as well as your men-at-arms. So that's why we're going to get some archers and a few crossbowmen help. And with the fire arrows, we don't have to worry about as much. Why aren't you guys up here? Come on. Up there. Try to get the siege weapon before it gets rid of the tower. Get the spring hold emplacement for this one.
Willikin's band of archers made short work of the French reinforcements.
Now, once your stone's down, just train some farms here, or build some farms, I should say.
Dover's garrison, Willikin's ambush force could not relent.
So we're going to build one more archery range up here. So just in case we need to build reinforcements here, we can. But yeah, that was a secondary objective to reduce more traders. We don't really need the spring hold emplacement here, it's not necessary. Alright, now we are going to build another market in the same spot. Now, your markets will produce 61 gold from this distance. You can also use the palings, guys, because sometimes they will send cavalry, so the palings will be a nice thing to have around. Just gonna trade a few more here. And with Willikin mostly tanking for your units here, you're fine. You won't have to deal with most. Just try to get a tower here so they get the boost for network of citadels, and you're set, pretty much. And then we're just going to focus on building our economy, which is to get a bunch of traders so we can get our gold up. And then we're going to focus on finishing this level earlier, like I said, and this is the camp that we need to destroy. It's pretty small, but it's decently defended, so you're going to have a mixture of units. You're especially going to need mangonels because sometimes the reinforcements will just pop, and if you don't defeat them quickly enough, you're going to be pushed back. So, just keep getting these, and then we're going to focus on getting upgrades as well over here. Going to get a few more villages on wood. And we can also transition some of them to farms if necessary. Because we're going to be focusing on knights. You can do several combinations. You can do archer, men-at-arms, mangonels. You can do archer, spearmen, mangonels, or whichever combination you like. I found knights and mangonels to be the most effective. Just because knights are tanky, the mangonels will do a lot of damage. So, just something to keep in mind. Get a spring hold emplacement on each of these towers, because these will help. But knights and mangonels, they're both gold heavy, so that's why we're trying to get as many traders out as we can. Now, we are going to be using a lot of food, so we will want to get fertilizers, or fertilization, sorry. Let me just sell the food to start researching it now. And we want to get some other armory upgrades. So I'm not going to be shy selling food here. We want to get silk bowstrings first for our archers. This will be effective in helping siege anything at the walls, or here they'll start getting early strikes, things like that. No sense being shy and just selling your food because you're going to get a bunch of it anyway from what we're using. Don't forget to also build more lumber camps forward up so your units don't take as long to get them. Alright, that should be a decent amount of traders. Try to keep around 18 units on each side too. Alright, so now that we've done that, we're going to actually send a couple of villagers over here to start building our siege workshop and our stables. In the meantime, we're also going to probably get military academy first in terms of the upgrades, just because it'll let us train our units faster. But again, we're going to sell some food. Start researching it. Now, you don't have to do this quickly. You can do it like the old method, like just having archers on these walls and defending against the French attacks. That'll be enough if you don't mind playing the level for like 30-40 minutes. You don't? Well, this is just a quicker way of beating the level, really. Now, the unit compositions will change, but again, archers with palings and a mixture of crossbowmen will be more than enough with outpost. Alright, so now with the siege workshop done, we're going to build about 3 to 4 stables. That's all you're going to need, and then you can just start chopping wood here. Now, the reason we're not building them up here is because the French attacks that happen, they spawn here to reinforce this area. So once that happens, they'll just destroy anything that's nearby, which you don't want to happen. That's why we're building them in a bit of a safer area. So again, we're going to get balanced projectiles to help our archers, and then we're going to start getting some melee-focused upgrades. We'll get decarbonization first, which is our attack, then insulated helm. And then, if you want, also get ridge rivets. So your knights will have more range resistance. Whenever you hear those bells, you just know that you've got enemies coming towards you. So it's just a good idea to check where it's coming from, then activate arrow volley and you're set. Yeah, we have enough resources pretty much coming in. I will want to get one more set of traders, I think. Alright, so now the French are attacking Dover Castle. As soon as they start attacking Dover Castle, take out the siege engines first. Everything else is secondary. Thanks for that. Thanks to the fire arrows you start with, it's just easy to take care of them immediately. We're going to start training our units as soon as we can. Assign them control groups so it's easy to find them. And yeah, once they're done, try to take out the crossbowmen so your archers will live. And as you can see, there's the siege tower I was telling you about. Focus on the mangonel too, and this is why we got the arrow silk bowstrings, so we're going to hit the mangonel from the wall. As you can see, there we go. So we don't really need armor clad here. What we need is to start training a mangonel. We want to get 3 to 4 because 2 will be enough to wipe out a group of archers, but 4 will be enough to absolutely annihilate anything in the area. And the French camp here is surrounded by springald towers, and we need to take care of them. Again, we're just going to sell some resources. We're going to sell the last bit of stone we have because we're never going to use it. Just keep training knights. We're just dealing with everything we get. Now this is what I mean. See how it's like just frozen because they haven't attacked the last crossbowmen? I'm just going to do it so I can keep going. But if you want to take advantage of it, you absolutely can. But we're not. I'm just going to let the timer hit because we're going to finish this level in less than 8 minutes.
Weakening the siege from outside the castle. The garrison at Dover repelled the French attack. Willikin ordered his archers to resume their strikes on the French reinforcements.
Alright, we want to keep training your Mangonel when we can too, so just sell your resources as needed. You can go for the lumber preservation tech too if you really want to. It's not necessary as far as I'm concerned. Train a few more villages if you do need, you know, more resources. It's not the worst thing to do on this mission. It's not like anything's preventing you from doing it. They don't go for your economy in this level. Get rid of that, it's in the way. Yeah, just keep training units. About 30 knights and a bunch of, like I said, 4 mangonels will take care of your problems. You could use springolds because these are the old-fashioned springolds, but I wouldn't because they're just not good against buildings. Mangonels are fairly decent. They're not great. They're not like a trebuchet. But the knights are more than enough to take care of them, and the mangonels can finish everything else. So the initial force we'll be dealing with in this will be a bunch of archers and men-at-arms, and as we advance, it'll be knights and archers. And the French have like a special knight called the Royal Knight, so they'll have upgraded knights. But it doesn't really matter when you have the mangonels for like backing them up. They'll just take care of them fine. Just gonna wait for a bunch more gold to hit, and we're gonna train another mangonel, which should be our last one required. Sell one more. And now we don't really have a use for wood anymore, so we're just gonna sell the wood. Start training more knights. See, they also have fire arrows, so you have to be careful with your mangonels. Once you have about 25 knights, you can start charging in. As long as you keep reinforcing them, you'll be fine. Again, we're going to keep selling the wood. Because archers don't cost a lot of wood to get trained anyway. Might give that a bit of repairs. Alright, let's start pushing in. So we're going to send our waypoints up here now. And if we have to replace a mangonel, we can do so as well. Now, AI for your siege engines in the campaign's a little wonky, guys. So just keep an eye on them. Like, if you attack just outside the distance, they won't... Sometimes they won't crawl closer to finish them off. They'll just stop. Keep that in mind. So we're going to deal with the towers first. This one, and this one. We want to get rid of them as quickly as we can. See, here come the men-at-arms. As they set up, and watch the mangonels do their job. They're pretty much all dead. Now move the mangonels close enough so they can start targeting the archers. As you see, that's what happens when you stop. Yeah, take out this one tower as well. That one can be ignored. Again, you can also keep trading your resources as needed, guys. Train more units. And start destroying the buildings as you can get in. because, like I said, I've put myself on a timer. You didn't have to, obviously, but I did. And as long as you destroy all the buildings in this camp, you win. Sometimes the units will go around the forest and try to hit your mangonels. Don't worry about it. They can't really send a lot through. But any reinforcements you might have, just send them to rally near your mangonels. As you can see, they're the knights. Deal with them. Move our mangonels out of the way from that tower. Yeah, just have to keep hitting them. But once you destroy the final building, because there's only 3 buildings you have to destroy, you win. So... And Siege is pretty powerful in this game from anything. That's it, GG. 21 minutes instead of 35 or so.
The tenacity of Hubert de Burgh's loyal soldiers forced Prince Louis and the rebel barons to abandon their siege at Dover. And thanks to the efforts of Willikin's fearless archers, England remained in King John's hands.
That's it. That's it for the Siege of Dover, guys. We're nearing the end of the Norman campaign, which is Rochester, which is another siege level, which is a bit different, the fact that we're doing the sieging in this one. And then we got the Second Battle of Lincoln, which is, well, we'll go back to Lincoln again. But it's not too hard, the final 2 levels. I'll try to get them out by the end of this week, because I kind of want to finish this and start the 100 Years' War one. Remember, guys, I'm more active on Twitch. Come follow me there. There's also a link to my Discord in the description, which is also at Twitch, when I alert people when I'm going live. I just recently finished Dino Crisis 1 for the first time. After beating 2 several times, I should have gone and beaten the first one at least once, so I did that. And yeah, I hope to see you guys there. But other than that, I'll catch you next time for the Siege at Rochester.